All right, and welcome back to the YouTube. Another losing day, unfortunately. Our CLV from these games have been really good. I think all four of the games I've starred there all moved in our favor. Unfortunately, we went 2-3, lost a little bit under a unit. But again, I don't know what's been going on with these games, but they've been pretty frustrating to say the least. FAU game went pretty much as I imagined. They got an early lead and kind of just held on to it. Um, the George Mason game, man, like George Mason absolutely dominated the boards, and I'm surprised they only won that game by 6. But Richmond shot pretty well from 3, and I think the biggest change in this game was the fact that George Mason gave up 15 turnovers at home. They're usually pretty good at not giving over too many turnovers. They shot decently well from the free throw line. They did everything that I wanted them to do, except they just had a lot of really bad, really stupid turnovers. So they end up winning by 6, not covering. Furman game, not really sure what happened in that one. They were up by I think 11 at half, and I was pretty cozy. I was like, oh, okay, all they have to do is score like 4 more net in the second half, and they just let up like a 30-0 run basically, and they end up being down like 10 points after like the first 10 minutes of the second half, and they finally pull away near the end. But yeah, I don't know what happened. They just left the door open for the home team to kind of just come back. And by the time they realized that they might lose, it was way too late. Illinois State game, probably my worst call on the slate. They never really looked like they had any chance that entire game. I'm not sure if maybe I underrated Evansville, but Evansville wins by 8. Illinois State shoots 35% from the field. Evansville shoots 50% from the field. Illinois State technically won the rebound battle. They had more steals, but it all came down to shooting. Illinois State just couldn't drop their shots. Even though they had 52 shots, Evansville had 52 shots. Pretty even game, but they lose by 18. So just a bad call on my part. And then Kansas, pretty worried for most of that game, honestly. I think they went into half down 6, but they finally remembered how to play basketball and ended up winning by about 19. So scary, but that kind of helped bring back the day. I don't know if I could have handled 1-4 days back to back, but we're due for some wins, and I'm gonna try to avoid away favorites a bit more because it seems like the home teams are much more likely to come on big runs and kill my spread. So let's go on to the first game. All right, so the first game we have today is UNCG heading over to Chattanooga. So I like UNCG as an underdog in the spot for a couple reasons. If you just look at their matchups, Chattanooga, or UNCG rather, they score in 2 ways. They like to shoot threes, and they're pretty good at getting points off of steals. And if you look at their matchups, they're 103rd in three-point percentage against Chattanooga, who defends the 3 at the 336th worst. So I think UNCG will get a lot of good looks from 3. And from steals, UNCG is ranked 151st in points off of steals, and Chattanooga is ranked 221st on the defensive end. So I think UNCG should probably get 5-6 steals, which hopefully should be enough to help them cover the spread. And if you look on the other side, Chattanooga, they also like to shoot a lot of threes, and that's pretty much all they do. Like, they like to shoot a couple mid-range shots. They don't really get any points off boards or steals. They shoot threes. And if you look at Chattanooga, or UNCG, they're the 25th best team at defending the 3. And Chattanooga is really not even that good at shooting the 3 anyway. They're 173rd in the nation. So I think they're going to be completely stuffed. Plus, if you look at the matchup, UNCG has played the 116th hardest schedule, and Chattanooga's played the 280th. So if Chattanooga's been struggling to shoot the 3 already, even though they can shoot the mid-range and near basket, they have slight favorable matchups in both of those. They just don't take those shots. Like, it's just not what their shooters are comfortable doing. And Chattanooga's a really good free throw shooting team, but they don't get to the line very often, obviously because they shoot from 3 all the time. So not really a concern. I think Chattanooga could win this game, but I think UNCG most likely covers, if not winning outright as well. Okay, so the second game that I like tomorrow is going to be Jacksonville going on the road and hopefully crushing Bellarmine. So when I look at this Bellarmine team, this line is very stinky. Like, it feels like it should be much bigger because of how much better of a team Jacksonville is. But if you just look at the matchups, Jacksonville has played the top 100 and hardest schedule They're a top 200 team. They've been playing pretty well as of late, and Bellarmine is one of the worst teams in the nation. They are 350th in their all-play performance. They haven't played very hard teams. Really, the only thing they have going for them is the home advantage, which they do play better at home. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to make up the skill difference. If you just look at the matchups on offense, Jacksonville should be able to do absolutely whatever they want. Jacksonville shoots pretty much everything, but they like to shoot mid-range three-pointers, and they also get a lot of points off of second-chance opportunities and steals. In terms of steals, they're 41st in the nation to Bellarmine's 335th. In giving up turnovers, they are 39th on the boards to a Bellarmine team that is ranked 232 against offensive boards. Mid-range, they shoot the 73rd best in the nation to Bellarmine's 317th in mid-range defense. Three-point percentage, Jacksonville shoots 131st to Bellarmine's 361st defense. So I think Jacksonville, if they can get into their routine on the road, they should basically be able to score whenever they want. Like I don't see where Bellarmine is going to defend them. And on the other side of the ball, Bellarmine, they don't really do anything well at all. The only thing that they do is they shoot a lot of three-pointers and near basket shots. And they're 260th in three-point percentage, so they're not even great on their own. And technically, Jacksonville has a slight edge. They're ranked 240th in three-point defense, so basically negligible, but it still exists. And the only other thing they do well is near basket, where they ranked 104th in near basket percentage. But that's Jacksonville's best defensive position. They are ranked 131st in the nation. So it seems like Bellarmine's going to have to work a lot harder to get their points than Jacksonville is. So even though there is, a regressional angle, I don't think the regressional angle makes up for, the massive skill gap between these two teams. So I like Jacksonville to go on the road and cover this 5.5 number. All right, the third game on the ballot is going to be Kennesaw versus Middle Tennessee. So taking a home favorite this time, hopefully a bit more consistent. But when I look at this matchup, I know Kennesaw is going to be completely overvalued by the market because of their upset against Rutgers. But in that game, Rutgers was missing one of their stars, and they haven't really looked great. Like they've been losing a lot at home lately. I understand they have 2 draft lottery picks, but they are very clearly not a deep enough team. Where if you can shut down those 2 stars, they are a very mediocre team. And I just think those 2 players weren't playing well, and so Rutgers lost to Kennesaw. I genuinely don't think they're that great of a team. If you look at the matchup, Kennesaw should be dominated in every defensive side. Middle Tennessee has played the 25th hardest schedule. They're basically a top 100 team in terms of performance this year, borderline top 100 team, and Kennesaw is a borderline 200 team. So pretty massive skill gap. If you look at what Middle Tennessee likes to do is they like to shoot near basket shots, and they like to get boards. And that is 2 things that they should be able to do pretty convincingly. They don't shoot the near basket that well. They're 144th in the nation. But Kennesaw's defense really shines out the 3-point line. And, they don't really like to take that many 3-point shots, Middle Tennessee. So they should be able to get a bunch of points off the steal as well. Even though they're not a massive team at getting points off of the steal, they're 118th. They have a really favorable matchup here. Kennesaw is really sloppy with the ball. They're ranked 360th in giving up points off steals. So I think they're going to fumble the ball a lot. Middle Tennessee at home with the home crowd is just going to keep them motivated. Kennesaw is going to have to pass the ball a lot to try to get their shots off, but Middle Tennessee is a good defensive team. They're ranked 124th in the nation in defense efficiency. Kennesaw, if you look at what they like to do, they like to take a lot of threes and they like to get points off steals. But Middle Tennessee takes care of the ball. They're ranked 20 in the nation, ranked 19th rather, in giving up points off steals. And Kennesaw's 270th, so it wouldn't surprise me if they get maybe 1 steal this game, maybe 2. And they like to shoot a lot of threes, but Middle Tennessee's best defensive side is the 3. They defended at the 52nd best in the nation. So I just think Kennesaw is not going to be able to get the shots off that they want. They're going to have to pass the ball a lot. They're going to get stuck, probably give up the ball. And Middle Tennessee is going to slowly slowly build off a lead just through their near basket and points off steal. Plus, they do score off the second chances, 12th best in the nation, but Kennesaw is the 33rd best team at defending their own boards, so it might be a bit more of an aggressive stance, but Middle Tennessee still will win that battle, probably more often than not. So I like Middle Tennessee to cover the 8.5 at home. I think Kennesaw is, again, super overrated. This Rutgers team is not what people are expecting it to be. 2 elite players does not solve an entire team of shit stains. So give me Middle Tennessee to cover the 8.5. All right, the fourth game that I actually like tomorrow is going to be Michigan State at home, -14, -13.5. I got at -13.5, but it moved just before I started this video, so I'm just going to call it at -14. I just think this Big Ten home edge has become a problem, and Michigan State's style of basketball and just dominating the boards is going to be really frustrating for a Washington team. Offensive boards really get the crowd going, and I think it's going to lead Michigan to completely dominate this game. If you look at the matchups, Washington, they're not really that great of an offensive team. They're 118th in the nation up against a Michigan State team that is ranked in the top 20 in defense. So every shot that they want to take is going to be tough, and they're basically going to have to rely on offensive boards, in my opinion, to be able to do anything. And one of the biggest red flags that I see is for teams that are good on the boards is that they also should probably be good at free throws, because if Michigan State is going to be contesting them on those boards a lot and fouling them, potentially if Washington does get the board, Washington is one of the shittiest free throw shooting teams in the nation. They're ranked 338th. They have a 65% free throw percentage. Absolutely awful. So you compare that to Michigan State, who's ranked 3rd in three-point percentage, averaging 83. If it comes push to shove, where both teams are fighting for boards on both sides, Michigan State is going to pull away just from hitting their free throws. Plus, if you look at Michigan State, they're ranked 30 in offense to Washington's 73. But Michigan State, just like they get a lot of boards, they like to shoot the mid-range and the near basket shot, and they shoot the near basket at the best in the country. They're ranked number 1, shooting at a 69% clip, which is pretty crazy. And Washington has the ranked 166th in near basket defense. So I just think Michigan State's going to find every shot they want to get. Washington State, they don't shoot any threes, Michigan State. And that's pretty much all that Washington is able to defend. So I think that their defensive advantages are going to go to waste in this matchup. On the road against a 12-2 Michigan State team that has dominated some really, really good teams. Washington has played pretty well on the road, but this is going to be a whole nother beast. I think Michigan State just completely dominates this game the entire time. Just a super grindy, dominant game. So give me Michigan State at home, -14. All right, so the final game that I'm liking today, I do like more than 5 games, so these are probably my fave 5. You can check the spreadsheet in the description if you want to see what else I'm betting. But when I look at this matchup, this kind of gives me flashbacks to my last pick, which was on FAU. It's just a team that hasn't necessarily been performing up to their expectation. Liberty is 13-2 in Conference USA, but I still think they have not looked as good as they should be looking. But, they're a good team. They are a very, very good team. And when you look at the matchup, Sam Houston doesn't really do anything better than Liberty does. I would say Liberty is a, borderline top 75 team. They've been playing well. Sam Houston has played a harder strength of schedule. But I don't think that actually impacts too much here. Liberty's just more consistent team. They play well on the road, and I think their slow pace will probably be really annoying for Sam Houston. If you look at the matchups, Liberty likes to take threes and near basket shots, and they do typically get a decent amount of points off steals. And if you look at it, they are ranked 24th in three-point percentage against Sam Houston that defends the three at the 311th worst in the nation. And the near basket shots, Liberty is ranked 86th to Sam Houston's 352nd. So Liberty is going to probably dominate in the 2 ways that they like to score. Sam Houston does control the ball extremely well. They don't give up a lot of turnovers. So Liberty probably won't get that many points there. But if you look at the other side of the ball, Sam Houston again, they get points off of steals and second chance opportunities and mid-range shots. And if you look at their matchups, they're the 361st best offense in the mid-range to Liberty's 135. And they are the 77th near basket to the 80th Liberty defense. So it's going to be a lot more grindy for Sam Houston to get buckets than Liberty. And even though Sam Houston does get a lot of points off steals and second chance opportunities, Liberty has the edge in both of these. Sam Houston's ranked 88th in points off steals. Liberty is ranked 84th in giving up points off steals. And Sam Houston ranked 266th in second chance conversion. And Liberty is ranked 161st in, grabbing those defensive boards. So I have this game modeled at 11 for Liberty. I think it's probably going to end up being closer to 7 or 8 just because Sam Houston is a pretty scrappy team. But I just think you got 114th in offensive efficiency up against 342nd defensive efficiency. And then you have Sam Houston, who's 69th in offense, to Liberty's 34th in defense efficiency. It's just a really massive mismatch, and I feel like you're giving way too many points to the home team. It is a conference game, and I'm sure Liberty is due for some regression. Any team that is 13-1 or 14-1 or 13-2 are probably due for regression, but I don't think it's enough here to make me want to take the home dog in this situation. So give me Liberty to cover the -3, which is a pretty crazily small spread. Again, kind of a stinky line, similar to the Jacksonville one. But if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. I think Liberty is the better team. Sam Houston, I don't know. I used to like to bet Sam Houston a lot before as home dogs, but usually they used to get like 12, 13 points at home. And only getting 3, 4-ish, I don't buy it. They could very well win this game because college basketball has been funky. Florida beat, in my opinion, the best team in the nation by 30 points. The home edge has been more than most people have been expecting, so I'm going to roll with Liberty here. This is, on paper, my favorite game, but it seems my favorite game has been going to shit after that Furman game. So give me Liberty -3, lock it in. All right, and that is it for today. These are my 5 games that I'm going to be betting. I think I'm going to bet 9 or 10 college basketball games tomorrow. If you check the spreadsheet, anything that is black are games that I'm betting. I think I'm taking all of these games at half a unit and Liberty at maybe 1 unit or 3/4 of a unit. And yeah, hopefully this, the games I'm picking on YouTube start heating up. I was doing really well before I started this and kind of slowed down a bit. So hopefully we can get a nice 4-1 day, 5-0 day soon. I think we're due. It was some pretty bad beats over the last couple days. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe, helps me a lot, especially trying to grow the channel. It would be cool to start having my videos pop up on recommended when you search for NCAAB picks. That'll be awesome. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.